The film begins with a young, innocent girl named Elizabeth, 20 years old. She lives with her mom, dad, and younger brother in a house right next to a forest. Every day, she passes through the forest on her way to college. One day after college, Elizabeth is returning home with her friend and girlfriend when her friend's brother pulls up in a car. Elizabeth's friend and girlfriend leave in the car, and Elizabeth begins walking alone along the main road. The path is flanked by dense, desolate forests, and little did she know that this very road would take the most terrifying turn of her life. As she walks, a man in a police uniform calls out to her from the forest. His name is Vincent. He says in a stern tone, "I'm a police officer. Drugs are being cultivated near your house. That's why I have to take you in for questioning." With this, he handcuffs Elizabeth and ties a belt around her neck. He then says, "I've arrested your younger brother and am taking you to him." Elizabeth panics. But Vincent, having introduced himself as a police officer, doesn't act against him. He then begins leading Elizabeth through the woods. They cross a small river and then continue further into the forest. Elizabeth doesn't want to go with him, but fear forces her to comply. He then makes her sit down in the woods and says, "Let me tell you the truth, I'm not a police officer. I kidnapped you because I want to be with you. I'm in love with you. I like you." Elizabeth initially struggles to understand what's happening to her, only to have tears in her eyes. Vincent asks her, "Do you have a cell phone?" She says no. Then he begins asking Elizabeth some strange questions, like has she been involved with anyone? Is anyone her friend? Hearing this, Elizabeth realizes that this man is completely insane and mentally unstable. Vincent brings her to the middle of the forest where he had built a secret underground bunker. He forcibly takes Elizabeth inside and closes the door after entering. This bunker is invisible to anyone from above because Vincent had covered it with dry leaves. The bunker had a small door and was like a small room. There was also a bed inside and the place was very dark. Vincent chains Elizabeth. He tells her that if she tries to escape, the belt around her neck has a bomb which will explode. "If you make any noise, I'll kill you. So you better listen to me." Elizabeth was completely trapped and burst into tears. Meanwhile, when Elizabeth's mother learns that her daughter hasn't returned home, she abandons everything she's been doing and begins searching for her. She even calls Elizabeth's friends, but no one seems to know anything, further distraught. With her friends' help, she goes into the woods to search for her. Her younger brother also calls out loudly for his sister in the woods, but it's obviously to no avail. When Elizabeth's parents can't find their daughter even by nightfall, they call a police officer and file a missing person report. The officer questions the neighborhood and attempts to locate Elizabeth, but still finds nothing. The police aren't taking Elizabeth's case seriously, believing she might be at a friend's house or with a male friend and might return soon. However, when Elizabeth doesn't return home the next day, the police come to her college and speak with the same friend and female friend. They reveal that they left Elizabeth on the main road and went home. After this, the police and Elizabeth's family search the forest for her. They search the forest several times, but they find no trace of Elizabeth. Meanwhile, Elizabeth has been locked inside the bunker for 2 days. She is terrified and frightened. She cries, remembering her family, and wants to escape. But Vincent tells her that she cannot escape from here because he has planted bombs all around her. If she steps on them, she will be killed. He further says, "Even if you escape from this forest, I'll go to your house and kill your little brother." Hearing this, Elizabeth becomes extremely frightened. Vincent tells her not to worry, everything will be fine. Then he offers Elizabeth some noodles to eat. But she refuses, angering him. He threatens her, saying, "If you don't listen to me, I'll have to hurt you, which I absolutely hate." Vincent, who is mentally unstable, wants to control Elizabeth and stay with her in this bunker forever. He's already prepared for this. Therefore, the bunker is equipped with many essential items, including a TV, a toilet, a gas stove, and plenty of food. Elizabeth has now understood that if she wants to get out safely, she'll have to obey Vincent. On the third day, while Elizabeth is eating noodles, she hears noises from outside. In fact, her mom and dad, along with their friends, have come looking for her after locking the bunker. Knowing this, Vincent covers Elizabeth's mouth with his hand and, pointing his gun at her, whispers that if she makes even the slightest noise, he'll blow her head off right then and there. Do you understand? Now, because the bunker is covered in leaves, no one can see the bunker's door. In the evening, they both watch the news on TV, where the police are searching for Elizabeth and her parents are extremely worried, which saddens Elizabeth. The police are trying their best to find her. They're searching for her day after day. Police are also monitoring the forest from helicopters. When Vincent hears the helicopter, he covers himself and Elizabeth with foil to protect them from the heat detector so they won't be detected. On the fourth day, Vincent tells Elizabeth a false story about his life. I was married and loved my wife very much, but one day she falsely accused me of trying to rape her. That's why the police came after me and I built this bunker to hide. I wanted to bring my wife here to punish her, but she left the country early. Then I saw you, Elizabeth, and I fell in love with you at first sight. That's why I brought you here, so I could spend my life with you. Now Vincent has a fake gun that can't kill anyone but can injure people. Vincent constantly keeps her scared so she won't leave him. But Elizabeth refuses to give up. She knows she needs to understand Vincent's mind if she wants to survive, and now she's started talking to him better, trying to understand him. 5 days have passed, but there's no sign of Elizabeth. One night, while Vincent is sleeping next to her, Elizabeth slowly and silently gets out of bed. She sees Vincent's gun on the table in front of her. She reaches out to take it, but a chain is tied around Elizabeth's neck, preventing her from reaching it despite her best efforts. Just then, Vincent's eyes open. He angrily asks Elizabeth, "What are you doing?" She replies, "I have to go to the bathroom." To win his trust, Elizabeth puts her hand on Vincent's and says, "I'm falling in love with you." To save her life, she has to let him get close to her. Elizabeth has been in the bunker for 6 days now. She tries to convince Vincent that she wants to stay with him. Gradually, Vincent begins to trust her, believing that she will always be with him in the bunker. With this trust, Vincent releases the chain around her neck and teaches her how to use his fake gun. At night, Vincent takes Elizabeth out of the lockup. Elizabeth's hands are handcuffed. Vincent takes her to an old car containing food. Elizabeth asks who brings the food, but Vincent doesn't say anything. Just then, the sound of a helicopter comes overhead, which frightens Vincent, and he quickly takes her back to the bunker. Elizabeth deliberately takes off one of her shoes and leaves it there, hoping to give the police a clue. Once inside the bunker, Elizabeth discovers that Vincent has a mobile phone. The next morning, while Vincent is sleeping, she quietly takes his phone. She types a message for her mother, but then realizes the phone has no network. She opens the bunker door slightly to try to get a signal, but to no avail. So she deletes the message and puts the phone back. Then her eyes fall on Vincent's gun. She picks it up and holds it to Vincent's head. She knows it doesn't fire a bullet. She believes Vincent won't die, but he will definitely be injured. She pulls the trigger, intending to wound him, but instead of firing, the gun jams. Elizabeth becomes furious and puts it back in its place. She remembers her mom and dad, deeply saddened. She wonders if she'll ever get out of here. Elizabeth has been here for 7 days now, but the police haven't heard anything about her. Therefore, Elizabeth's friends and police officers began to suspect that she might not be alive anymore. On the 8th day, when Vincent checks the gun, he finds it jammed. He angrily asks Elizabeth, "Did you take my gun?" Elizabeth calmly replies, "No, why do I need it?" Then she takes Vincent's hand and places it on her cheek, which makes Vincent trust her again. The police are about to stop searching for Elizabeth, as they hadn't found her. But the message Elizabeth sent to her mother, which she had deleted due to a lack of signal, somehow reaches her mother's phone. states that a man is holding her captive in an underground bunker in the middle of the woods near their home. The man is insane. Elizabeth's parents are shocked, and a hope of finding their daughter is awakened within them. They immediately call the police and show them the message. First, the officers don't take the message seriously, thinking it might be a joke or a prank. But Elizabeth's mother explains that her daughter wrote her name as Lisa in the message. This name is known only to the family, and no one else knows it. Upon her statement, the officers take the message seriously, and the number from which the message was sent to Elizabeth's mother is tracked, meaning she is found. The next day, the police arrive at a woman's house, as the phone was purchased in her name 3 weeks earlier. They learn from this woman that she was a friend of Vincent's, but they had broken off their relationship and hadn't seen each other in years. She says, "He texts me often and I leave food in a cart in the woods." She then leads the police to the cart, explaining, "I don't know where Vincent takes the food." The police discover an old bunker beneath the woman's house, where Vincent used to hide from the police. Vincent had numerous cases against him, including kidnapping. The police had been searching for him for a long time, but he was never caught. Now the police were convinced that Vincent was behind Elizabeth's kidnapping. The sheriff spreads the message to the media because he knows that Vincent is dangerous but also cowardly. If he gets wind of the police being after him, he will flee for his life. This is certainly a risk. But Vincent has escaped many such predators before. When Vincent sees on TV that the police have discovered that he kidnapped Elizabeth and is hiding her in a bunker, he panics. He yells at Elizabeth, "Why did you text your mother and tell her about us? I thought you loved me." Elizabeth then tries to reassure him, saying, "Believe me, I didn't send any messages from your phone. If you want, you can check it yourself." "Right now," she said, "this is a trick by the police. They're doing this to catch you." Vincent checks his phone, but he doesn't find any messages because Elizabeth had already deleted them. Vincent becomes very upset. He thinks the police will come and arrest him. Elizabeth then tries to control him by using a trick. "I love you," she says. "But if the police see us together, you'll go to jail. So you better run away now. When everything calms down, you can come back. I'll wait for you here in the bunker until then. Then we'll both go to another city and live together." Believing her words, Vincent escapes from the bunker. After he leaves, Elizabeth opens the bunker door and comes out. Now she's afraid there's a bomb in the bunker. That's why she doesn't move forward. Just then, she hears the police, who were searching for her in the woods. Elizabeth calls out to them. The police arrive, and it's here that we learn that Vincent had placed a fake bomb to scare her. The police immediately come and take care of Elizabeth and bring her home safely. Elizabeth and her family weep and begin to hug each other. Finally, after 10 days, Elizabeth emerges from that hell and is overjoyed to be reunited with her family. A few days later, the police arrest Vincent, and the court sentences him to life imprisonment for his illegal activities and crimes. Meanwhile, Elizabeth slowly recovers from her shock, and the courage and understanding she displayed in the face of a maniacally insane man serve as an example to everyone. This is how we should handle situations in difficult times, and with this, the story of the film ends. Subscribe to Movo Reels, where every movie tells its story again. Thanks for watching.